What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the East of Stratford podcast. And today is the most prestigious awards show on the motherfucking planet.
Okay.
The
That's
East
right.
of Stratford End of Year Awards. Vishnu and Karthik, what's up, boys?
What's good, boys? How are you? How are you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you? Karthik, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Oh my God. I can't believe we're doing an award ceremony. Welcome, guys, to our very first East to Stratford Awards. It sounds fucking ridiculous, but we're doing it. So we hopefully have a red carpet soon, but I think right now we have to work with Armand's fucking red shirt. So
Yeah.
that's
Look at this beautiful, beautiful shirt, guys. And to all the people who really give a shit about these awards, we put a lot of time and thought into it. We put in a good 5 minutes before we chose these awards.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, 5 minutes too much, bro. I think there was too much overthinking involved. Like we shouldn't have thought so much.
There's a lot of effort into this. So I think, we're gonna get into it. And the awards that we're covering today are our most valuable player of the season, the most improved player of the season, who is the shittiest of the season, and the most controversial player, as well as the most offensive and the best offensive and defensive player of the season so far. And I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. There's gonna be a lot of difference in opinions, especially because Vishnu fucking thinks Memphis Depay is one of our best wingers of all time. So I think it's gonna be
that's gonna haunt him forever, bro.
Oh
Yeah,
dude,
no.
it is.
Like, I think that's gonna haunt me forever. I've lost a lot of confidence in myself since that's happened. But it's
So
time for redemption. So I hope one of you two idiots say something today, and hopefully that catches on for a while.
look, there's gonna be something dumb said when you have Karthik and Vishnu in the room, something silly is gonna happen.
Just because Armand hosts this shit, he gets to say anything.
Yeah, you should have signed up for the job, bro. Well, let's get into it, dude. Nobody wants to hear this shit. They want to hear our fucking awards. That's why they're here. So we're gonna start on a positive note. We're gonna start with most valuable player of the season. Vishnu, who's yours?
My most valuable player of the season has to be Mason Greenwood. I think that like the chances that he's capitalized it on a lot, and this is his first full-time season, and he's improved tremendously. Like from what we've seen of him, and even after the restart where he's bulked up and he's been scoring free-range goals. Like this kid is like a threat, for it's a warning for the rest of the Premier Leagues next year as well. And with him in our side, I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Karthik, I think Vishnu didn't understand the question. He said
I don't know
improved player. We're talking most valuable player.
Yeah, you don't think he's the most valuable player?
No.
I don't know. Armand, do you want to go or should I?
Yeah, Karthik, go ahead.
I mean, no, dude, he's not the most valuable player. There's no way he's MVP, man. He's a great fucking talent. I agree. Like, he was phenomenal. He scored, like, for a fucking 19-year-old, he's incredible, no doubt. But, dude, like, he has contributed in us winning a lot of games post the restart for sure. But, dude, I think Bruno definitely has to take the MVP position, bro. I mean, he's been our season changer for me. Like, you take Bruno out of the equation and we're losing all games. Like, there's no way we would have finished third for me. Like, and without Bruno, I don't think Mason or Martial would have really shown what they could have done. Bruno created those chances as well. I'm not saying Mason has created a lot of chances out of scratch. He could be a close second to an MVP, but I think it's Bruno hands down, but he takes it from me.
Yeah, I think with Mason, like, he just didn't play enough to be the MVP. Like, Rashford literally carried us through the first half of the season. So, and Bruno did get us into the top 3, but my MVP is Harry Maguire because, hear me out, he played every fucking minute of the season. Just imagine the defense without Harry Maguire. It would have been Bailly. Like Eric Bailly would have started, or Tuan Zebe, or we would have kept Rojo. And it's like with De Gea playing badly, it would have been an absolute mess. So Bruno is someone that took us to the next level, but Maguire for me got us to base camp. Like if it wasn't for Maguire, we wouldn't even had the opportunity to shine on that level. So I think Harry Maguire is the MVP.
Dude, there's fuck that. Because let's say like from the start, we've had the worst start in our campaign for the last like 30 years, right? And it was under Maguire. And during that time when he was playing, he made so many errors. And it was a learning thing for him as well. It was a learning curve. For sure, he's like repped it up in the second half of the season and he's got those like clean sheets. That was amazing to see. But like his foundation was not like, it was built after January. Like that's when like we started getting good at like our defensive lines. Before that, like he didn't score a single goal before that as well. It took him forever to score a goal. Where you see the likes of like Van Dijk and all these guys scoring freely with those headers and stuff. Like I love Harry Maguire. I think he's one for the future, but like I don't think he's the MVP this year.
But we had a good defense all year. Like there may have been some mistakes, but our goals conceded is pretty low. And without that, Bruno could have scored 10. Mason Greenwood could have scored 10. But if we didn't have a solid base of defense, it wouldn't have mattered because we would have conceded 11. And with Rojo there, I don't know. I just think that Maguire, every minute of every game, causes mistakes because he's fucking out there all the time. Never complained. Yeah. Fucking won the captaincy. That's my pick.
Impressive, though. That's like crazy, mad impressive. I think it's the first one since Pallister, right?
Pallister.
Yeah, since like '84, I think that he's played every minute of the Premier League season. That's fucking crazy.
That is ridiculous. I mean, you have a fucking point though, man. But I don't know, man. The only reason I wouldn't have chose Maguire is because I think exactly what Vishnu said. Like him, we also brought him in with the expectation that he's going to convert set pieces and he's going to be a threat in the box for like corners and stuff, and that hasn't quite translated yet. But has he had an effect on the team? Fuck yeah, like no doubt, like for sure. But for me, I think it's still Bruno. We need him.
So.
I still think it's basic,
yes. I think, guys, let us know in the comments what you think. Is it Bruno or is it Maguire? I'm not even going to say Mason because it's not Mason.
Come on, Mason. Get fucked, man. Mason scored he scored 3 goals less than Martial and Rashford without even starting as many games. And that's crazy.
I agree. It's been great.
He's won so many games out of the blue for us. And that's what's, that's a lot of brownie points on him, dude. Yeah, but Rashford was missing for like 3-4 months, and that's when we didn't have a spearhead attack. That's when like Greenwood came in and filled those shoes.
Dude, Rashford was everything the first start of the season. If it wasn't for Rashford, we'd be fucking 15.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyways, Maguire or Bruno or Greenwood, let us know in the comment section below.
Basically, this award ceremony, there isn't one because we just choose 3 different players, so everyone gets it.
No, well, dude, like you're gonna let the fans decide, dude.
Fans decide, okay.
Yeah,
we're doing this for the first time, guys. So yeah, all right.
And I told you there was 5 minutes of thought.
Fine. I don't even know why I'm here. Okay.
I don't know, dude. Let me move on, asshole. Okay. On to the next award. The most improved player of this season. And Karthik, we're going to start here with you, brother. Who is the most improved player?
I'm going to go with my man Fred, bro. I think Fred has been the way he started this season, we were like, do you remember how pissed off we used to get at him in the beginning of the season?
Yep.
We're just like, bro, what the fuck is this guy doing? He couldn't fucking control the ball. He couldn't pass the ball. He just seemed didn't know what to do with the ball at his feet, But then, dude, I don't know what the turnaround was, and I can't quite put a finger on it right now. I don't remember when. I think it was around December when there was this sudden shift, and Fred and McTominay became like the rock in midfield for us. Especially post Pogba's injury. When I think the
Yeah.
moment Pogba sort of fell out from the team, I think that's when Fred picked it up, and that was brilliant to see, bro. And it's kind of unfortunate he didn't get to play much towards the end of the season, which I'm really bummed out about. But I hope in the Europa he gets more of a chance. But I think he's fantastic, bro. Just to have to come off the bench, a player like that is fantastic. Agreed, he's not a first team player yet, but I think he has improved significantly through the season. Like I think he's become a very strong
Yeah.
player for us. Yep.
Vishnu, what do you think, bro?
Yeah, dude. I think we gave Fred a lot of shit when we first started as well. But I kind of agree on a lot of points that Karthik is saying. But he's been a that piece of the puzzle that was missing in the center. Like he really provided that when the others were injured and they were not playing as well. And like fucking, we had Pereira on the other end who was just like mucking around. So yeah, agreed. But my most improved player is Luke Shaw because
Oh,
I think that like Luke Shaw, when he first started, we gave him a lot of shit as well. Like because we called him a donut. He was so fat. He still is fat, but but I think he got his first goal in like a while this year. And over the shift in games when we were injured, like he was a very valuable like left back, and he was filling. He made because of his performances and how like Wan Bissaka was performing on the right hand side. We started to push towards like a 3-5-2 formation as well. So that was good to see because like that's providing an extra option, and he's always running forward and backwards. Like, and it's good to see. It's a good. He's been in the club for so long that like this season was probably his best one with Man United. So yeah,
Yeah,
Luke Shaw for
two
me.
two good shouts. I think Fred and Luke Shaw are two. I didn't think of Luke Shaw, but
yeah.
he nearly
I
lost
don't
his
know
position
why,
to
but that's
Williams,
Yeah.
and he completely won it over. Like to the point where he became undroppable. For me, I wrote down Fred as well, just because I think from Mourinho, a 50 million signing that looked so shit. The amount of shit he got from the fans was like Lingard-esque. And then he comes back and before the break, I mean, before the break, he was our best player, I thought. I mean, Bruno,
Yeah.
obviously, but even before Bruno came in, he was insanely good. So I really loved Fred. He added a different dimension. He started going forward more. Defensively, he was out of this world. So for me, it's Fred, but I think we can wrap it there. So let us know what you think in the comments, guys. Is it Fred or is it Lucas Shaw? On to the next one. The most controversial opinion of the season. It can be past, it can be present, or it can be going forward. Now, Vishnu, let's start with you on this one, bro.
Yeah,
What is
I'll go
your
first
controversial
because
opinion?
I'll go first because we just talked about this as well. And one thing we have to do is like look at reinforcements that will be really useful for our bench as well. And I did not think about this till about 10 minutes before we started this podcast. And so I'm gonna get I'm just going for the thing here. We should sell Fred.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
We just spoke about Fred.
Exactly. So I think that's why it's the perfect time to say this as well. I'll explain why as well because Fred, like what we've seen is he's lost his place to Pogba and Bruno and stuff like that. And when we're like thinking about next year's transfers, when we're bringing in Jack Grealish, we're thinking about like Jadon Sancho on the right and stuff like that. I don't know where Fred is going to play. Like even if you like, I know Armand, you've talked about this before, where we can like adopt him to start playing left back, but like that's yet to be seen and stuff. But like right now, I don't see like Fred's a great squad depth to have, but then I think we could get some good money for him. And because he's doing pretty well, he's still got a long-term contract with us, and I think that letting him go now would we could try and back that up with like a better player in our midfield.
Hell no, bro. Let go of fucking Fred, man.
No, not my Fred.
I was just waiting for you to finish so that everyone would settle down. Just to fucking throw it in your face. Like, no fucking way, bro. We're not letting go of Fred, dude. He's too good.
You'll never
for us.
play him though, but he won't play. He's not
He
gonna
will,
play
bro.
next season.
That's because Ollie hasn't really been rotating the squad properly, man, and that's been our problem to begin with, like towards the
But
end.
like regardless, dude, even like when we were playing in the Europa League and like you won't like we're not using that formation anymore. We're trying to play more attacking football, and Fred's gonna like hold back that line. I
I
love
don't
Fred,
know,
but
man. I
it's
think I think
it's a controversial opinion. Let's see.
yeah, I know. That's fair.
I don't know. I think we can sell Fred. Like he's just our he is our best going both ways, defensively and offensively, as a midfielder. There's no better at doing both in our team, and he's so useful in different instances. We're going to be fighting on so many fronts next season. Top four, probably top three, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, UEFA Champions League. Fred is going to get game time, and if he doesn't, Ollie's made, a fucking big mistake.
Yeah.
I think
What's yours?
let's go into the second controversial opinion. Karthik, what's your opinion?
Um, I'm gonna go with, dude. I don't think Bisaka is a good enough right back. And the reason I say this is because we saw Chelsea. I watched the FA Cup as well yesterday, dude. James as a right back for Chelsea is insane. Look at the other right backs. So just compare Bisaka to other top four teams and the right backs that they have, dude. It's Bisaka. You can't even compare Bisaka to Trent right now because in attack, Bisaka just seems completely clueless. I think when there was the restart, we saw like moments of flair from AWB. Like he was getting into good positions, putting in good crosses, but I feel like he still doesn't have control over his crosses or anything. Like even the crosses he's played in, like at the restart, I felt like some of them were like borderline fluky, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it just felt like it got to the person because he just played it blindly and it just found the person. So that's sort of the thing. I just feel like he could be. I'm not saying he can't be, but right now I think after our main focus on our center backs and our right wing positions, I think we need to look back into right back because I don't know if AWB can carry us for an entire season, bro. I don't think it's possible. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, I want to jump in on that. There's a big part of me that feels the same way. He's the best in the Premier League at defense, but unfortunately at Man United, offense is a huge, huge thing. So next season he may be valuable because we're going to be playing in the Champions League against maybe the Messis of the world, maybe the Ronaldos of the world. So he can help close them, and he can do a great job on the Hazards of the world as well. But moving forward, Dylan Levitt, I've heard a lot about him coming up from the youth team. Apparently he's just out of this world. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. But I kind of agree with you, man. I think Man United need an offensive wing back. Vishnu, what do you think?
Yeah, dude. I think he's a left back. I'm sorry, a right back. I don't think he's a wing back. At the moment, like the way he's playing as well, like he holds his ground really well. But also we've seen him. I think one thing is I think we overused him this season. He should have been given a lot more rest. I think Dalot should have played a lot more games this season. And it sort of brings out the balance. So I think that's like Ole's man management there, which kind of led to him being fatigued towards the end of the season. So I think like if he works in the off season where he kind of works a lot and we see that his intent is there in the first like 5-6 games, I want his pace to be like Valencia's, I want his pace, his crosses and stuff to be like similar to what Antonio Valencia had. Because if we have that, then we have another option from the right hand side.
Yeah. And speaking of Valencia, I always thought Valencia wasn't good enough. Like, even though he had a good season, I just thought he was very shit. He didn't fucking deserve to wear that number 7. Anyways, that's not onto it. So Karthik's most controversial opinion turns out to be his most agreeable opinion.
Well, that's how I roll, guys.
So you don't win this award. My controversial. Fuck you! You want this award.
I don't want this award, man. I don't care about this.
Okay.
No, I do care about it.
Yeah, you should. It's important. But my controversial opinion is that I would sell Pogba if there was a dream market where you could sell Pogba. I know it's impossible right now. I would sell Pogba for 80 to 100 million. And I would buy Jack Grealish, and I would use that money elsewhere in places like left back, right back, CDM, because with Jack Grealish, he's not going to be the same amount as Pogba. So you're going to make the amount. And the reason why I think this is that Pogba is obviously a more talented player, obviously a way better player. I think Pogba has the ability to be way better than De Bruyne. He has the ability to be the best midfielder in the world. There's something about him, his flip-floppy attitude towards United. Sometimes he goes cold. Like the last few games of the season, it was just like, and then his work ethic drops when he stops playing well, which is what annoys me most. Because if he was still running a lot, fine, but he just stops running. And then Jack Grealish, man, captain at 23 of Aston Villa, scored the goal that kept them in the Premier League, literally kept him in the Premier League single-handedly. Such a talented, non-stop, running all the time, and a very creative footballer. So for me, he's a Man United player through and through. Like, I just see it. I just see him at Man United. So yeah, that's my thought.
But all right, I think that's a fair point. I think what you hope. I mean, if Pogba, I also think that if in this market realistically Pogba could have been bought, Pogba himself would have left.
Yeah.
So I think right now Pogba has done a good job since the restart of like trying to fit in, and he's played much better and he's been more. But then again, towards the end, we saw that flip-floppy attitude as well. Like towards the last couple of games, I completely agree. Like there was like, but my question is like, if you get like an 100 million for Pogba and you bring in someone like Grealish, do you think Grealish agreed, like he did really well for Aston Villa, kept them in the relegation race or whatever, but do you think that he could do the same thing at the top half of the table? Like, because, that playing at Manchester United, like, it's a whole different set of expectations that he needs to meet, and so replacing someone like Pogba at least has an experience and the mentality, and even if he's just 50-60% good, he still can pull off those passes, and that's my only thing. Like, do you think Grealish could come to United and be like could carry?
Yes, dude. Have you seen Aston Villa? They're so dog shit. They are so bad. Like even El Ghazi, and like there's some center midfielder that some people were saying even bring to McGinn. He's so shit. He's dog shit. And like everybody is like that's who they're saying are good players. And he literally, like I forgot which game it was, but it was some game where I texted you guys and I was like, we need Jack Grealish, because he made every through ball, every run, but the players just couldn't finish it. Imagine you have Greenwood on the end of it. Imagine you have Rashford. Imagine you have Martial. Pogba can do it better than Grealish, don't get me wrong. But Grealish will be consistent, and Grealish is just a dog. He just doesn't stop running.
But like, see, my question is, do you think that there is like Pogba and Grealish can play in the same team?
Yes, but I don't think Pogba, Grealish, and Bruno can play in the same team.
No, because like I think it's at least for now, at least for the next season, I think Pogba and Bruno are not going fucking anywhere. So like that's why I feel like like that's why I don't really see Grealish fitting into this side as yet. But maybe like I don't see him starting from the bench either. Why the fuck would he start from a United bench when he can maybe go to another one of the top 4 teams and play every game there? So that's my only problem with Grealish. I think he's an exceptional player, but yeah, I don't see him as a United fit at the moment.
My thing is just Grealish over Pogba. If in an ideal world Pogba could leave, I would have Jack Grealish. So the opinions were Aaron Wan-Bissaka potentially not good enough. We should sell Fred, and we should sell Pogba and bring in Jack Grealish. Now to move on to the final 2 prestigious awards. I hope fucking Man United players are watching this shit. Let's start with the best defensive player.
I have to go with Harry Maguire, bro. Like for me, like he's played all 90 minutes of the season. He's held up our back. He's been a great leader at the back and for the team in general, and defensively, I think the reason Lindelof is doing so well, and the reason our back, whoever it is, like Luke Shaw or even Aaron Wan-Bissaka on at the back, like, and even our midfielders are a lot more confident in going up just because of the fact that Maguire is there in the back line. So I think, Maguire for me is hands down, I think, our best defensive player, no doubt.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty easy. Vishnu, what do you think?
Yeah, I went for Harry Maguire as well. I think he's grew into his leadership role as well. Early on as well, he was thrown into that where he had to command the whole defensive line. And do you remember like when he came up with those rules and stuff where it came from the dressing room where he had a set of rules? If you're late, you get fined this. And, like he established himself as like one of the key players of Man United. And his dedication, like I heard that he was playing with an injury as well for a while. And I think he's been like key to our success. Like the reason why we're sitting in the top 3 this year is because like he's had his off moments here and there, but yeah, for me, best defensive player and worth every money that we've spent on him is Harry Maguire.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'll just wrap it up there. You guys said it. Harry Maguire is definitely the best defensive player.
I wanted to say Eric Bailly. I'm not even kidding. just because he hasn't played so many games, I feel like he's kept a lot of our players out of injury. Just by sitting on the bench. Eric, you have been fantastic this season, bro. Thank you.
He's been really good on the bench. He's really done a great job. I don't know, in training, I don't know like how the fuck anybody still like has legs.
I don't know.
He's a fucking crazy. The best offensive player, Vishnu, who do you think?
For me, it's Martial this year. I think Martial's had one of those unique seasons. I think he scored the most number of goals in the season this year in his United career. He's got his first career hat trick. And like some of his goals were just out of the world, man. Like that Watford chip, that goal against who was it? Norwich, was it? That crazy shot towards the end. And like the way he stepped into the role when Rashford was injured. And there was moments where we were even like at the earlier parts of our season where we're in our like early episodes where we're saying like, should we sell Martial? But like he's really stepped up to the plate. I think he scored he's kept up with he's got the same amount of goals as Rashford this year. And that's pretty high an achievement on its own. But like his ability to score from anywhere has really brought like a surprise element for United this year. So
Karthik, so Vishnu thinks Greenwood is the MVP, but Martial is the best offensive player. Something's not adding up.
My pick was gonna be Greenwood as the best offensive player.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Bro, okay, whatever. Let me the Martial point, dude. I agree. I was watching like Martial's goals, like all his goals this season. I think a couple of nights back, and I'm like, dude, these are some quality fucking goals. Like, it wasn't like you could see why that hype that Martial brought in when he first came into United, whatever 4 or 5 years back. I think now he's really showing what he's actually capable of, and his finishing is fantastic, bro. Like, it's insane. I know it's not consistent sometimes, but dude, when he gets it right, it's all his goals. I think at least 80% of his goals have been just beautiful. Like, it's not been like just happens or like a typical number 9 goal or whatever. It's been like he's had to work for it and he's gotten it. And I agree. Like he was great, but for me, dude, it has to be Greenwood. Like, for me, the best offensive player of the year. I just think the fact that he can come in from the right, go either side. He can literally score from the tightest of angles, bro, just because of the fact that he can use either foot. And I just think that next season Greenwood is definitely going to be. I think like you said, Vishnu, maybe next season, at the end of next season when we do this episode again, I think Greenwood could be MVP, but not right now. But he's, for me, is the most offensive player, for sure. Like, the best offensive player.
So I think we're going for the full front 3 because I think that Marcus Rashford was our best offensive player.
I knew this guy was going to say Marcus Rashford as well.
Dude, if you watch the first half of the season, like literally, Martial only started picking it up when Bruno Fernandes came in. Greenwood was only there for a quarter of the season. Marcus Rashford put his body on the line every fucking week, and if it wasn't for him, we had nothing the first half of the season. That game against Tottenham just exemplifies it so much to me. Like, the way he absolutely ruined Serge Aurier's life by nutmegging him and then getting into the penalty box. and then scoring the first 5 minutes with a beauty that makes Lloris look like a shit goalkeeper, which I think he is. Marcus Rashford has the tight amount of goals with Martial, the most assists. So, and we saw at the end of the season, Rashford, he wasn't scoring, but he was passing the ball brilliantly. So I think if you take everything into account, Marcus Rashford was the best player of the season so far. What do you
Why
guys
is it
think?
not your MVP?
Best offensive player of the season so far.
No, dude, I think I agreed to most of that as well because when just before he got injured, man, this kid was on a roll. I thought he was gonna win the most number of goals this year as well.
Yeah.
Like the way he was playing, and it just sucked that he got injured really poorly, and we blamed the medical doctors at Man United here as well, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? He's got like a stress fracture on his back for like the longest time. And I think he's really stepped up to the plate. Like it's been good to see because especially after we've sold Lukaku last year, we needed someone to like really, we knew Rashford was always going to do that thing for us, but we really needed him to step up, and he did. Towards the end of it, I thought he looked a bit down. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint why, but yeah, Rashford always, man.
I mean that's the only reason I feel I didn't pick him was because of kind of how it went down towards the end of the season. I just felt like, I mean, he was fantastic still. Like his passing for some reason was phenomenal at the end of the season.
Yeah.
He was a different sort of player. He was trying to adapt to a different team. So, he came like after the break, he had to adapt to a completely different team as well. So agreed, but I think that's the only slightest reason because I felt like he lacked some sort of confidence towards the end and I wasn't sure why. And obviously, he's coming back from such a horrific injury and stuff. But he was definitely, dude, like you said, Rashford's going to win the Ballon d'Or someday. Fuck that.
He is.
It's going to
Yeah,
happen, bro. That kid is insane. Like, he can literally do everything. Like, you've seen the way he was before the restart, the way he was playing. And then after the restart as well, like, the passes he was playing, the assists he was making, the way he was understanding the game we were playing. I think he's a great player, man. I think he's going to be a United legend in my opinion.
Yeah, so I think everybody in the audience, let us know what you think. Is it Marcus Rashford? Is it Anthony Martial? Or is it Mason Greenwood? Let us know in the comments below. I just want to, I realized I skipped over this. I don't know if you boys want to do it. We can do it quickly. Who is the shittiest player at United this year?
You guys want to say it all together at the same time?
Yeah, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Dan James.
Dan James.
No, I was scared one of you might say Lingard.
Lingard didn't play enough to be the shittiest player this year.
Yeah, that's true. He went through some shit. But yeah, dude, Dan James, hands down. I think what is the opposite of improved, bro?
Got worse.
Got worse.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Like his decline graph was incredible. Like he started on such a high.
Pereira gets a really good shout out for that too. Like getting to that.
Honorable shout out to Pereira. But yeah, I think Dan James will.
Dan James, I again, we love you as a person, Dan James. If you're watching this, I think it looks like you're a great fucking human being and a good dancer. But this season, we just feel like you couldn't find your feet, man. And I don't want to. Let's not hate on him too much. We've done it enough.
Yeah.
Dan James is the shittiest player on our team. So I think that's a good place to wrap up, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to this very important first annual award show of the East of Stretford. And we'll be doing many for years to come. So be sure to tune in and let us know, again, for every topic, let us know your thoughts. I'm going to repeat them again so you have it off the top of your head. Most valuable player, most improved player, most controversial opinion of the season, best defensive, best offensive, and shittiest player of the season. So let us know your comments in the comment section below. Make sure to leave us a subscribe. That'd be awesome. And follow us on Instagram. We're doing some cool shit. And that's it.
Yo, we've got some crazy subs going on YouTube now as well, Arman.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck that's happening, but it's happening. So thank you guys for doing it. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Anyways, let's see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, guys.